crafty friends. Today we are going to take, these and turn them into these. I'll let you see the one that I dropped. This. Okay, so these are the Bunny Trio surfaces, and they are white. They come just like this. And so what I did was I watercolored these. I was checking all my chalk paste, and I found a couple that they were beyond what they should be. And so I thought, well, gosh, I don't want to throw these away. And so I just started playing around, and I thought, well, worst case scenario, I can wash it off, or I can just paint my bunnies. And so I decided to keep going. So what I did was I started with the sides, and I went all around there. I will say out of the three of them, the purple was the easiest, the yellow, and I think what I would say the difference is that this purple was bad. I should be going in, taking my mister once a week and stirring all my chalk paste. That's how you keep them fresh. And yeah, I haven't been doing that. I've been busy with other things. So anyway, I thought, well, I'm going to look for a different color other than purple. And I found pink. And I thought pink was pretty bad to really kind of watercolor or even paint with. It wasn't as great as my purple. This one wasn't quite as dry, and so I think what I did was I added too much water. So, and this, I think it was just that it was yellow, and it was, I don't know, maybe I added way too much water, but I had a really tough time with this one. I think I did it 3 or 4 times. But for right now, I'm going to set our bunnies aside because I want to show you exactly what I did to paint my bunnies. So I went to find another chalk paste, hoping that there weren't many, and then I saw, this says coal black. Obviously, that's not coal black. If I'm remembering correctly, I wanted a little bit more of a bumblebee color instead of just bright yellow. I want to say I added orange to this, and so I'll let you see this. Now, it's not as dry. I stirred it up, and I actually stirred it up with a craft stick. My bad. You don't want to do that with your really good chalk paste, but if mine gets to the point where it's no way is it coming back, then I'm going to stir it. So this is the color I came up with. And so I experimented with it, and it did pretty well. And so now I want to show you exactly how I did that. Super easy, and then we'll finish up our bunnies. So took my spritzer, and in one corner of the jar, I really spritzed it well. And that's because I wanted to make sure that I had enough water in there. And then over on this side is where I have my chalk paste. And so I just dipped my brush in a little bit of water, and then I dipped it over here, and it comes up a little bit chunky. If you try to just paint it, chalk paste is not something you want to paint with. Watercolor, yes. So what I did was I took my paintbrush, and I took an old one on purpose, and I dabbed. You're probably thinking, but wait a minute, that adds a lot of texture. I will show you what I did to avoid that. Okay, now here it's a little more dry. Here I have a little bit more moisture, and I go over and I kind of knock down some of that texture, because I know that if I chalk paste over that, I'm gonna, boy, this just wants to come with me. Put a little bit more water in that. And so I just kept going. Now sometimes if I got it, well, let's see if we can do it. Let me see if I can water this down really well. If you water it down too much, the water just kind of sits there and it really doesn't do much of anything. And so I'm going to go back in. I may have my brush too wet. Let's see. And I'm going to tell you honestly, that yellow and the pink, I did forever. I mean, they just took forever. The purple one's like bing, bang, boom. And I'm like, oh, this is so easy. Well, it just happened to be the perfect, I'm done, you're never going to revive me kind of chalk paste. See what happens when you don't take care of your chalk paste. So anyway, I'm just going to go over this again. So you can see that it really does give you kind of that texture. So I let this dry, and then I walked up to the back 40, in other words, Kirk's place, and I clear coated it. So what I'm going to do very gently, I'm going to do it with the yellow one here, it's that grocery bag again. So I painted, dried, clear coated, and then got my grocery bag. And the reason I use a grocery bag is because there's really no grit to it other than just the feel of it, but it's enough to knock down even when clear coated. And I let my clear coat set overnight. So I just took it and went around the whole surface like this in areas where, here we go, in areas where it was a little bit more bumpy, so you can see on this one, I'm hoping you can see that there's a lot of texture there. In those areas, I made sure. Now, I would show you how I did that on this one, but I've already started chipping it off. My bad. So honestly, if I do this, see what's going to happen? Because it's not clear coated. So you want a clear coat, and then grocery bags. So we almost didn't have a grocery bag today. It is very cold here, and Kirk and I were asking one another who was going to go out to the to the back workshop and get the grocery bags. We store them out there because we use them for our furniture more outside than I do when I'm indoors. So I just take a little piece. So let's look at the bunny stencils first. So you have a bunny trio, and then you have stencils to go with the bunny trio. So here's our large bunny. Here's our small bunny. And then the one we're going to do today is I wrote happy birthday. How about happy Easter? Oh, well, it's on bunny trio, I'm going to know. And then you also have a little cottontail. But we're not going to use the cottontail today. Now, for the purple, I used this stencil, which was lace flowers and berries. I would say it was one of my favorites, but you know what? I love patterns. You can just do so much with patterns. And then for my small bunny, I went back and used flower power, but I didn't want to have this big flower on it, so I came more to the side and made sure that any of the flowers I had are just partial flowers. If I turn it like, there you go, maybe you can see it better that way. So anyway, that's what these two are, and I'm going to set them aside until we are, I'm going to be very careful. Those have not been clear coated. I wasn't going to walk outside today. I stayed in as much as I possibly could, and that was enough. 10 degrees with a wind chill is cold enough. So I have to go back, and so we're going to take Happy Easter, our Happy Easter bunny. So cute. So cute. Come on. Okay, am I good? I can't believe I need my glasses to see the edge. Ugh. Might be time to go from cheaters to the real thing. Ah, come on. All right. And so this one is new to me. It actually, I think it came out last year, maybe the year before. But I used these for several projects last year. So I'm just over on my tacky towel here. Let me move that in for anybody that maybe doesn't know what fuzzing is. So I'm fuzzing my stencil. And what I do like, when you paint a surface, whether it's a white magnolia or it's raw wood, clear coat it before you ever use your stencil, because it will pull up all your paint, which would not be great. So this one again looks more painted. If you look really close, you can see the texture. I just found another spot. So I've got my, so the reason I'm doing this, if you don't know, is because any extra little bumps that I may have can cause my chalk paste to bleed. I think these are going to be okay. They may not be. And hopefully, if they're not, they can be in a place where we can kind of hide it. So I'm just going to take my stencil and put it up over my bunny ears. And then come down. You know what? I think I can come down just a little bit more with this one. Oh, come on. Bunnies, let's do this. Make sure that I have that straight. I do. And then I'm going to use, where did I put my white chalk paste? Oh, Lynn, are you losing your mind? I hit it. I knew I had it. Uh-oh. Let's see what's under here. A piece of my hair. Not cool. So I'm just going to go over this. I can see where I am that I have little places that it was not adhering to my stencil. And that's because I had little air bubbles in there, and you don't want those air bubbles because, again, you know what happens. It bleeds. Yes, it does. Okay, so I'm going to take my white chalk paste, and obviously I've been using this today, so I'm just going to dip in here, and I'm just going to come down my bunny ears first. There we go, bunny ears, nice. And then I'm going to come down these bunny ears. You know what, I'm actually going to grab a smaller squeegee for those edges. Well, that didn't help me. What I'm doing is there is an outline on the bunny. And it doesn't bother me if I get too much of that on there, but I really like my bunny to have no outlines, but that's just me. You can do it however you want. So I'm just going to continue to move down here quickly because I don't want my chalk paste to dry. I'm getting close to that again. I think I'm gonna, let's see if I go in a little bit. There we go. Then I'm doing a better job of it. So, you know, these bunnies are so fun because there's just so many things that you can do with the bunnies. And you can see I decided today that I didn't want to go with the regular stencils. I'm trying to feel like it's spring, even though I knew no matter what the groundhog saw today, we were going to have 6 more weeks of winter, if not 8 or 10. So I'm just looking to be a little bit more flowery and make it look like spring. It would be a miracle if we don't have snow on Easter. It's kind of hard to do egg hunts when it's cold. But, you know, if it gets up into the 30s or 40s, then it's not so bad, and the kids love it anyway. So, here we go. Oh, come on, come on. And I may look like I'm doing this slow, but I'm actually doing it faster. I'm doing it fast enough that I'm not going to turn this so I can come up from the side here. You just don't want to let it dry, the chalk paste dry on your stencil. You want to get this done quickly. And for me, that's the fun, because I get to lay my stencil down and do all of this. So I told all of you, I am here in the land of the frozen, and I haven't heard a Minnesotan yet tell me that they weren't frozen today. How's the weather near you? Are you freezing? Or are you basking in, well, I can't say that because we are basking in the sun. When it's sunny here, it is cold. Okay, so I'm going to take my stencil. Oh, it's starting to look so good. Oh, yes, those areas that I thought were a little bit too bumpy, I'm good. I got them down, and that's why it's always a good idea, you know, go back through your stencils. So, oh, come on, let's go in. Oh, I'm in love. You are just the cutest. So I have my Happy Easter. Oh, I think if I went over which way? There, you can see it better. My lights are so bright they make my hair look red. So I'm going to set this one aside because I'm actually going to do this last. And I think I can pull some of my lines out of there, but I'm going to leave them. Okay, so I've got my purple bunny, and I'm going to embellish my purple bunny first. And so I made a bow, and this is one of the Tulle bows that I've made before, and I made sure that I got my little finger things out because I burned my finger I don't know how many times today. And then this little pom-pom on it, that was purchased. Personally, I think I need to go back and make this just a little bit longer because that pom-pom's a little bit big. And so I'm just going to put my glue on the back. Not too much. And then, let's see. I think I'm going to put the ribbon over here. And yes, I have all female bunnies. Oh, come on. Notice I put it on my finger and then I didn't use that finger. Ah, it figures. It's been a long day. Anybody else looking forward to tomorrow being Friday. Now, last night, Kirk came on live with me. You couldn't see his face. Ooh, I found one of his little... So, he helped demonstrate how to make pom-poms. And how this all came about was that we had a show, and boy, I needed help. And he was very hesitant. He's like, are you kidding me? Me making pom-poms. But he did. And so I'm just going to trim... I'm going to trim this just a little bit more because I'm seeing some areas that are just a little bit too up. So his secrets are make your pom-pom really, really big. I believe he said he used 60 going around the pom-pom maker. The pom-pom maker he used was, let's see, he used this size of a pom-pom maker. And so if you want to see that, that is on one of my videos. Go back and check that out. So usually I tie my pom-poms onto something, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm going to grab my scissors. When you're making pom-poms, sharp scissors. Sharp, sharp scissors, or you will struggle. So I'm just going to cut that off. And see that little pom-pom? And Kirk made that. I'm so proud of him. But no, he has helped me so much. He actually does them faster than I do. It's one of those things that I do very, very, very slow. And so I recruited him and said, you know, I know you don't like this, but you are making my bunny pom-poms. So with our purple one, we have our pom-pom, and we have our little bow. You know, I'm going to set that aside for a minute, because if it's not dry, it's going to fall out. Now, for the pink bunny, okay, so this is one of those little purchased pom-poms, and I did what you do when you're making these pom-poms. I started at the bottom, and I trimmed around, and I'm just going to say pom-poms this small and trying to make them smaller. I should have just gone and bought the size pom-pom I needed. So again, we're just going to put a little bit of glue on there, and I think with my little one, oh come on, I'll tell you, when you're using Tulle, those hot glue strings that you get can ruin your bow because they don't just slide off. Because this is such a fine material that's used in this, that it sticks and it just makes a big globby mess. So just be really careful. Okay, so she has that. Let's see, she needs a tail. Whoops, oops. And again, I'm going to do that same thing. I had made this one yesterday, and I can't remember what size I used on the, I think I used the same size Kirk did. I just cut it down more. So again, we have our little fuzzy butt there. And so we're just going to wing it and say, yeah, that's where it's going to go. Ooh. And then I'm going to put my little pom-pom down on here. Now this one I'm not going to burn my fingers on because it's so poofy. No chance of that. Okay, I'm going to set her aside. Now, with Happy Easter is not going to have a poofy tail. No tail. And that's because it says Happy Thanksgiving. First it was Happy Birthday, now it's Happy Thanksgiving. I don't know what day it is. It's Groundhog Day. Maybe that's why everything is just goofy. And this one, I made another tulle, but I used, I made it into more of a flower. And now that I think of it, he should have had, this one could, whatever. I like it the way it is, and I'm going to go with it. But I wasn't thinking that if you didn't have a tail, you could have gone without any kind. But I already made this, and so for this one, this pom-pom came from pom-pom ribbon, because I didn't know I had these. I ran across them today. And so this one is like that. So when we put them all together, we have, oh, I don't want to put you up first. You'll fall. Let's do this one. So we have our purple, which I'm going to fess up now. I couldn't use the bunny pattern because I watercolored on the wrong side. The bunny pattern is supposed to go this way. And I thought, well, I really like the flowers and berries, and I'm just going with that. So we have, is your bunny bite going to cause you to fall over? Okay, so we have him. Actually, I'm going to move him over just a little bit more, and then push this over so you can see. And I don't know if you're having fun, but I have to tell you, oh, you did go down, up. Oh, good, it's not totally. I gotta move it up a little bit. I pushed it down. I don't know if you saw me do that. But this one, I put just a little, okay. Chalk paste, come to my rescue. Okay, it's leaning a little bit, but I'll have to go back and fix that. And then we have our Happy Easter Bunny. Cute, cute trio. So many different ways to decorate these, with pom-poms, without pom-poms, with the stencil, with ribbons, without ribbons, any color that you can think of. My only advice is, before, if you're going to leave them white, great. If you're not, check before you do it so you don't end up having to use a different stencil, which actually I'm loving this a whole lot better than what I had planned. So again, there we go. You learned how to watercolor, and so that's what we did here. Then you're going to go and clear coat it, right? We're going to clear coat. And then you're going to grab, once that dries, and I let all of my clear coat dry for 24 hours before I do anything. And it has helped so much. And I think the reason that I do that is because I actually made the mistake the very first time I did it, and I pulled the clear coat right up with my stencil, ruining the stencil. So trust me, learn from my mistakes, because you don't want to do that. So anyway, the last thing I did was go over with this. So there you have it. You have our bunny trio, and we're not even yeah, I'm going to have to take that tail off and move it. So until next time, happy chalking.